everybody. So I'm really excited today. I am here to rank the animated films that I saw in 2019. This does include every animated film. There's some direct to streaming movies like with the DC films. I didn't really get to see any of those this year. Also, there are the Norm of the North movies, which I just couldn't bring myself to see. I think one of them got released in the theater, but I don't know. The only way I'm going to see another Norm of the North movie is if somebody sponsors me on Patreon and wants me to see it. That's the only way I will do it. If there's a monetary motivation, I'm not going to see it. I just couldn't do it. So let's go through and rank these films. Okay. Number 33, I have Arctic Dogs, and I just thought this movie was terrible. I thought it didn't have anything that was going to help children with their creativity or there was going to make them laugh. It wasn't going to teach them anything interesting. Everything was so bland, so irritating, not funny. It was terrible. 33. Number 32, I have Playmobil the movie, and I think that this had some things going for it. It had some potential. It certainly had some nice animation, some talented vocal performers, but the problem is the story was just all over the place. There were just way too many villains, way too many lands, way too many things going on, and the live action stuff really didn't work. The tone didn't work. The humor didn't work. It just didn't work. So that's 32. 31, I have Wonder Park, and I think there's actually a certain degree of heart in this story, and I like that the kid is kind of a brat, because I think that that's sort of a flawed child that's trying to explore things, trying to figure things out. I think that's a good thing to have, but the problem is that just the park itself was just so joyless, and it kind of dragged you down after a while, and there just wasn't enough whimsy and enough magic in the story, in the park, and the characters to entertain me. Number 30, I have the new version of The Lion King. Don't let Disney fool you. This is an animated film. It was completely created by animators, by digital graphic artists. It has no live action filmmaking of any kind. It's not rotoscoping. It's nothing like that. It is an animated film, and it was completely bland. They didn't do anything interesting with this new update, and the stuff that is impactful in the original, because they are realistic looking, or was less impactful, and the whole thing was just really boring and bland, and I didn't like it. Number 29, I have Leo da Vinci Mission Mona Lisa, and this is like a serviceable little movie for small children with a young Da Vinci going out and solving, having adventures. But it was just too bland, and I didn't really like the romance part of it. That wasn't my favorite. 28, I have Modest Heroes. This is from Studio Ponic. It's just 3 shorts, and they're okay. I liked the one with the girl who has super bad allergies. That was kind of different. You don't see a lot of current contemporary type animate that much in this kind of way that it was. Then the other 2 are sort of more fantastical. I don't know. These 3 were not very memorable, and I don't think they stand on their own as a feature film. 27, I have Missing Link. I've said this a lot on this podcast, but I didn't like Missing Link. I admire all that they do at Laika, but I just thought the character designs were really off-putting. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like the triangle nose and the pig face. It was very weird, and I just didn't think the humor worked hardly at all. I mean, things like that whole like bar scene, I don't know. I just thought that wasn't funny. And like the whole scene when they're trying to break into the woman's house, like that wasn't funny. And the whole long scene with the Yetis, I didn't think that was funny. I don't know. I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me. It's at 27. 26, I have an anime film, and it is called Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dreaming Girl. This, of all the anime films that I saw based on series, this one did the poorest job of welcoming newcomers into the story. It was pretty confusing for me. I don't remember a ton about it, but I still enjoyed it. But it does have beautiful animation. But I remember thinking all of these women were way too in love with this just like seemingly average guy, so I don't really like that. And then another anime that I saw at 25 is Children of the Sea. And this is a story about a girl who has this kind of connection to the ocean. And she starts to kind of realize that maybe that's sort of where she has come from. Maybe she has a tie to it. Kind of, it's sort of like maybe kind of like a little bit of an Aquaman, but for anime. And the animation was beautiful. But yeah, it wasn't a favorite of mine, but it was worth a watch. 25. 24, I have The Addams Family. I liked this a lot more than most, it seems. I thought it had some pretty funny jokes. I liked the character designs. I liked the styling. It's not a great movie, but overall, I was entertained by it and I enjoyed it. So I have it at 24. 23, I have Ugly Dolls. Another one I enjoyed way more than most. I liked the music. I liked the animation. I thought that they looked cute. And, overall, it has a nice message. The villain wasn't my favorite. I didn't really care for that. So it's not perfect, but overall, I enjoyed it. Number 22, I have The Secret Life of Pets 2. I liked basically like 2 out of 3 of the mini stories. I liked Gigi or Gidget, whatever, learning to be a cat. That was cute. And I liked Max learning to be brave. That was cute as well. The plot with the tiger, that one wasn't my favorite. So 21, I have the weirdest name of this list. It's I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, which I guess in Japan is sort of a saying of I want to take on this pain. I want to experience this so you don't have to, is kind of the meaning of it. And this is basically like a Fault in Your Stars, the 5 Feet Apart kind of story of this teen couple, and the girl gets sick and she's like a special very manic pixie dream girl. The animation is beautiful in this movie, and that what kind of saves it. The story is pretty trite and lays it on pretty thick, but enough to get 21. At number 20, I have Morona's Fantastic Tale. And this is a really cute movie about this little doggy and his adventures through his life. And the animation is beautiful, really unique and different. The artistic style is unlike any that I think I've ever seen. I really liked it. I think it would have worked better as a short. I don't think there was quite the story there for a feature film, but it was still definitely worth checking out if you get a chance. Number 19, I have Dragon Ball Z Super Broly. This one did a much better job than some of these other ones of welcoming newcomers into the story. I liked Broly as this just like evil guy, like sniveling kind of, and I enjoyed that. The action was really well done, and so I liked it. Number 18, I have Buñuel and the Labyrinth of the Turtles. And this is a movie about Louis Buñuel, the documentarian, and from the like 20s, I think, or 30s. And it's about him making one of his movies, and it's cool because they have like scenes from the movie and then you see it in the animated form as well. So that was cool, but he is a lot as a character. He is so irritating, and I felt like it got kind of repetitive of like him being terrible and then someone dealing with it and then again and then again and again. So it became kind of frustrating to me to watch, but it's still definitely worth a watch, especially if you know Buñuel and you know his films. Then you should you'll really enjoy it. I think it's an interesting film. Number 17, I have Oko's Inn, and this is an anime made for really pretty little kids about this girl whose parents have died, and she moves into this inn that her grandmother runs, and she meets these ghosts in the inn that have sort of this backstory, and there's something she has to kind of do, and she learns as she grows. It's cute. It's just a very cute little movie. So then at 16, I have One Piece Stampede, and this is part of a series, but it really kind of felt like almost a Mad Max kind of thing. You have all of these crazy characters all together trying to find this treasure, and in this massive competition, and it's just really kinetic, really crazy, and And so definitely it's not like for people with sensory issues or problems in that regard. They won't like it. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. Okay, then we have Sound Euphonium, the movie, band, and the various loves and losses and quarrels and everything between these different high school students. And so if you were in band or choir or something like that in high school, then I think that you will really enjoy it, and you will definitely be able to relate to it. So I did. So number 14, I have Spies in Disguise. I really enjoyed the Will Smith in this. Tom Holland's, he's fine. I liked the whole message of nonviolence, and that was kind of worked in. I liked the animation. I thought some of the voice cast was strange, a little distracting to like, why is Reba McEntire in this? That was odd to me. I didn't really like most of the pigeon stuff. I just wish it had just been a spy movie, but it's perfectly entertaining. Number 13, I have Whitesnake. Beautiful animation in here. Just the martial arts fighting and everything was so fluid and so beautiful, and some of the prettiest, I think, CG animation I've seen in a long time. And the story is good. Some of the characters were a little annoying to me, and so that's what brings it down just a notch. But I definitely really enjoyed it, and I reviewed it for Family Movie Night here on this channel, so you should check that out. Number 12, I have the Angry Birds movie 2. I thought this movie was just really funny. The story isn't that great, but it made me laugh a lot, particularly anything involving music. I thought was really funny. And this is just a relaxing, if you just want to put on a movie and you just want to laugh, then this is a good one, I think. It doesn't have the greatest story, though, in the world. But what are you gonna do? Number 11, I have Weathering with You, and of course I was super hyped for this movie because I love Your Name so much. I love Makoto Shinkai so much, and this movie, at first I was pretty disappointed with it, even though I knew that it was still a good movie. But then I went and saw it the second time, and I definitely liked it better the second time. The animation is so beautiful, and I love the music, and it's definitely, I think, worth a watch. It has it's got some pretty deep themes about the environment, and I unfortunately, though, I just felt like the core sort of story felt very young adult, and not in a way that I felt his other movies have, and the romance was just so kind of cheesy and not really dove into. I didn't feel like I knew the characters and understood like I did in his other films. And I don't know, just the story and the characters were not as good as his other films. But it's certainly worth a watch for sure, just for the beautiful animation, the lovely themes, and the great music. So that's number 11. Number 10, I have I Lost My Body, another story that's very creative, beautiful animation. I liked the core romance outside. The body part is kind of just a gimmick, but it was fun enough. It was different enough. I enjoyed it. But it's just not like, I like the other ones just better than I Lost My Body, but it's definitely worth a watch. You should try it. You should watch it. So I have it at 10. Number 9, I have How to Train Your Dragon, Hidden World. I really enjoyed this film. I loved the animation. I love any time in any of these films when they are flying. I think that is so beautiful. I also loved the ending. I thought that was so poetic and moving and well done. I did not love the humor. Particularly the Kristen Wiig character was pretty irritating. So that brought it down just a little bit. And there were some parts with sort of the fighting, the action that got a little boring for me. But overall, I definitely think it is a good film. So I have it at 9. Number 8, I have the Lego Movie, the second part. And this movie is obviously, it is going to be compared to the first film. And I think the problem, the live action message in this movie is more for children, about playing with your siblings and stuff, whereas the first movie, the live action sort of metaphor, was more really for adults, but it had sort of this broader philosophic concept of of our our childhoods and our lives and our choices and I don't know. So that's I think why this didn't connect with as many people as that first one. But I think it's pretty funny. I like the music. I like the animation a lot. And overall, I just think it's a pleasant, clever, entertaining film. And so it's at number 8. Number 7, I have Penguin Highway. I really loved the story of this. It was very creative, very original. As I really didn't know what was going to be happening the next minute as he's investigating these penguins. And there's some awkwardness with this young boy's fascination with this woman that was strange, but other than that, the animation is great, and it's just a very creative, unique story. Number 6, I have Abominable. Absolutely loved this movie. I thought that the relationship between this girl and this Yeti was so touching. I know we've seen it a million times before, but it just worked for me. I felt the heart, and I loved any time that she played her violin. I loved the violin music. I just loved the whole theme of grief and loss, and I loved the animation in this movie. It was so beautiful, and overall, I just really enjoyed the film. Number 5, I have Funan. This is a stunning film about a family and their experiences during the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia in the 1970s. And it's a tough watch. It's pretty brutal, but it's very, very, very well done. And I think more people should watch it. We are going to be talking about it for Obscure Animation this month. So look forward to that. Then I have Promare as number 4. This movie is a lot for people that have like photosensitivity or any kind of issues with that. But it is so unique. The animation is so stunning. And the message of the story is really great about this character, this world that has been taught to hate the Burnish. This character actually gets to know the Burnish and realizes that he's been taught to hate. It's really good story, and it is just so visually stunning. So I highly recommend it. One of my favorites of the year. Number 3, I have Frozen 2. I've seen it twice now. We recorded our Talking Disney about it, but I just love the evolution of Elsa and Anna. As they confront this dark secret of their family, which I thought was a really bold way to go. And I loved the animation, and I loved how they both ended up as queens and just their growth through the story. And I absolutely loved the music throughout the whole thing. I love Lost in the Woods and Kristoff's song and plot. I was totally fine with that. It was great. And I just really enjoyed it. So it's a 3. Number 2, I have Toy Story 4. I absolutely love this movie. I love Woody's journey and seeing him come to a place where he can say goodbye to the Andy part of his life, to the children part of his life, and move on. And I thought that was such a proper goodbye to a character that we love. And that meant a lot to me. I thought the movie was really funny. I thought it was really beautifully animated. And I just absolutely loved it. So that's my number 2. I love Forky, and I love Woody. Like, parenting Forky was the best. So that's my number 2. My number 1 is Claus. I absolutely loved Claus. I love the animation, the 2D animation. I love the way the film used lighting as it showed these characters as they learn to read, as they learn to become more educated, and that they turn away from these feuds, and you just see their faces start to light up, and their whole demeanor, everything changes in the animation. And I loved that. I loved Claus as a character, and he starts out, he's just so weighed down with grief, and you see him grow and change. And I just loved the story, and I loved the characters, and I loved the humor. I love the voice acting, everything about it. I absolutely loved this movie. I love Christmas movies. I love 2D animation. I love animated films. So this was absolutely my favorite, and I'm so happy that it got nominated for an Oscar, because I think it's very well deserved. So there you go. That is my ranking of all the animated films that I saw in 2019. So let me know what you think of my ranking. And if you've seen any of these sort of more obscure ones, I would especially like to hear your thoughts on that and where I put things. And so thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel, consider becoming a patron. We talk a lot about animation over in the patron group, and we have giveaways and all kinds of fun stuff. So thanks so much. I'll talk to you all later. Bye, everybody.